Golub is not here, Counselor Toronzo,
I'm here.
and I believe Counselor Golub, Counselor Golub, we're doing roll call.
You nailed.
You are here.
Say here out loud and then
Here
you're
I
good.
am.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Marvelous.
Say her name and she shall appear.
Yeah.
Hi. This meeting is being recorded by the committee chairs. If any other persons present are doing the same, you must notify the chairperson at this time. Are you recording us?
Yeah, I will if it's all right.
Okay, it's scintillating.
Oops, that works. Right. How do you spell that? Start with an S. It does start with an F, see? And, that's all I wanted to know.
Scintillating.
Sorry. Hey Siri,
Printed out agenda. No.
You can move over. I do.
Oh, great. Thank you.
I just want the agenda, correct?
Thank you.
That's all right. You can thank Quinn. They are not here.
not see their awesome Jeep,
Bronco. Bronco.
Jeep Bronco.
Derek has a G. Sorry,
It's not blue with the white. Anyway, this is off topic,
It's all on
so
the agenda.
talk about Quinn's
Get to
car.
start.
Quinn.
Okay.
Thank you.
Discussion of parliamentarian, I have no new news, so I'm gonna move past that.
Okay.
Do you
Keep
want
it on
to,
agenda, like.
can we just remove it until we have news?
Yeah, let's
Or-
remove it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I like St. John's name, but memorial for his presence.
It's true. We're gonna get a bobblehead made of him. Have. All right, discussion of inviting department heads to the council monthly. So I want to look at my notebook real fast.
I really liked how this has been working out, by the way. I think it's been a smart way to go about it, giving everybody a chance to kind of have a heads up and show
Oh.
up. And
Yeah.
Of course, I should have been prepared, but so May, we have DPW and Marlo coming to our meeting. Because we've got, I don't know, some sort of something to do with public waste, no.
Solid waste.
That one small thing. They put a lot of work.
Yeah.
Eric, like,
Yeah.
Athena, of course.
Yeah.
I want to give credit where credit's due.
New
Mhm.
recycling. In June, we're gonna have a update from the Cultural Council.
Oh, cool.
In July, because it is the month of recreation, we will have the recreation department.
Awesome.
Do we know who we're inviting on the cultural council?
I don't know, but I know Matt Conway is on top of that, working with me on that.
Okay.
And then if you all want to have recommendations for August, September, we can do that, or we can wait until we kind of know what's happening in the world.
Could you just remind
It's
us?
kind of like the weather, maybe not plan too far ahead because you don't know what's happening.
So DPW is this month. Who's June?
Cultural Council.
Cultural Council. Thank you. Right then.
July is recreation.
Yes, I managed to get.
It's a good plan, I think, to like
Mhm.
3 month it out.
Yeah.
I really, it was,
Yeah.
I think, I appreciate the idea.
Right, so that's where we are. Next on the agenda is approved preservation restriction agreement between City of Greenfield and Franklin County Agricultural Society.
Fairgrounds, right?
Yeah. Is that a
EDC
thing to-
or 80
I don't know that any contracts or agreements like that have come. I don't
Yeah.
recall something like that at A&O. That doesn't mean I'd be willing and
My gut instinct is EDC now that I'm looking at it, kind of the stuff in there.
Since Derek's not here, then
Usually. Yeah, it would go to EDC,
Okay.
usually.
okay, let's send it to EDC unless anybody has any objections.
They're preserving the sheep farm, or at least they want to. I won't say that.
I mean, it would be interesting for community relations only because I know that this won't have to do with noise.
Yeah.
So,
It can get loud.
yeah.
You can get enough of them together.
All right, request to information as part of the city council minutes submitted by Councillor Bullock on April 16th, 2025. The recommendation from the clerk is this is it will go in the minutes, so it will be recorded in the minutes that there was a correction. And then after the fact, Counselor Bullock asked to include a website reference that seems going beyond our usual practice. So I'll open that up for discussion.
Can you just, what is your, her request was to put something and plus a website, and your proposal is to put the thing but not the website? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that it will the correction will be in the minutes, but not the addition of the website.
The conversation would be in the minutes, but
That corrects the misstatement.
My vote versus adding in stuff after the fact, but
I think this is jargon entirely. I get why it's being put out there, but I think it's a little petulant. If the idea is that someone wants to say that I misspoke or I used a reference that was erroneous, my bad, I did. Yes, I said something that was not entirely true at the time as I was using as a comparison. I don't think that this is a place for the city council to have any means, because it actually, the comparison that was being used had nothing to do with the topic at hand. It was just a one-off reference. So I don't see where this would go. This shouldn't be old business. It should be new business, because we already handled the business, which was having to do with the tax title taking, which is totally different than this.
No, and
If the fact checking part of it is to just either stroke someone else's ego or to slight me, let's just say, cool, water under the bridge and let it die there, because this is not the way we should be conducting ourselves. And certainly not wasting the volunteer of folks being on council just to say like, ooh, I gotcha.
So are you saying?
Did you have a-
Yeah, I think it's fine to add it. I think, it sounds like we maybe just maybe voting on it would, because I don't want to, I don't want to go into a big debate about
No.
it.
But all right, so by means of process, you can't add to the minutes something that didn't happen.
Right, can I ask
And you can't,
the clerk,
Yeah.
just for because you brought this to us, what would how do we dispose of this? We just decide here that it's all set and,
so
or do you need a vote?
No, I don't think I don't think we need a vote.
Okay.
I think this committee is perfectly capable of saying, no, the minutes are going to reflect the conversation. Minutes are required to have a summary of the conversation. It may not specifically say, this person said this, and then this person said this. It will contain a summary of the conversation. The reason I suggested that it not be put in the minutes is because it didn't occur at the meeting. There were comments made, but it didn't occur in the meeting, so
It's after the fact.
that's my thought, but you are the committee chairs. And I think if you guys say, no, we're good, we stop here, that's fine. Or if you say, yeah, go ahead and include it, that's fine too. I don't think it needs to go before the full council to have debate and comment.
So would anybody object to us not including it?
yes,
Wait, you would object to not including it?
to not include, no, I would not.
I'm doing the
Oh,
negative,
sorry, the
so-
double negative, yes,
Yeah.
okay, yes. No, I would be fine with never talking about this again.
Counselor Phillips?
I understand why Counselor Bullock is upset and is requesting it. Like, I'm not,
Sure.
like, I understand why she's upset and requesting it. And I also, the argument to only minutes, the definition of minutes are what happened at a meeting.
Correct.
that also makes a lot of sense to me. So I would not object to them, to that not being included.
Yeah, I guess I'm concerned if
It's
it's
being not included yet.
yeah. And I have a just bigger concern about we're in a current moment of trying to rewrite history and so I just want to make sure that we don't then set a precedent that
Sure, you can.
opens us
don't
up in
debate
the
what's in the
future.
minutes after the fact.
Yeah.
Right.
Since I think it's already been sort of, the issue that was at hand was spoken and it's clear in the minutes. So I think she's covered there. And if somebody wants to look up the a website that has the expungement, then we could do sure.
I appreciate you thinking forward in that way. I wanted to set that precedent.
Right, so the next thing on the agenda is the approving a fee schedule for the clerk's office in accordance with MGLC 40, section 22F, which was submitted by Clerk Scott. Clerk Scott, do you want to?
So we did the kennel fees a few months ago because that was an eminent fee that needed to be corrected. And the proposal shows what the current fee is, what the proposed fee is, and the application date, and the fees. The majority of the fees are going up. Because of the cost of doing business. The vitals paper, we have to specifically order separately. Envelopes, postage, toner, staff time. And the fees haven't been increased. Inclusively of all of the fees, haven't been increased. Last thing I knew was 2013. Yeah.
Do these fees go to the general fund or directly to the clerk's office as like a revolving?
Sure. So the kennel license and dog fees go to a revolving fund, which gets approved every year. We get to use that for certain things for dogs, animals.
Okay.
The Board of Health also can use it
Yep.
if they need to have an animal tested for rabies.
Sure.
And then at the end of the year, it closes out to a remaining balance, don't quote me, I think of 7,000.
Right.
And whatever's remaining goes into the general fund.
Okay.
So business certificate, vital records, those are all general fund. Affidavit of corrections of birth, general fund, raffle, general fund, dogs and kennels, I just explained, and certificate of registration. That one is being restructured so that it's by gallons on an underground storage tank, underground only, not like the big gas tank I have in the back of my house for propane to heat my house, underground only. So those are being restructured by gallon. So that's why it's so very different.
I assume
Thank you.
that this is a Ways and Means issue? Y'all good with that? You good with that?
Makes sense to me.
Sure.
Lenny.
It's funny.
It's funny.
Okay. So money. Wait, the right place.
I'm gonna put a pin in that one, that this is not, time sensitive, correct?
So the
Very
only-
time sensitive?
July.
Not very time sensitive, could be voted in June.
Let's do that.
I'm just trying. I'm trying.
Let's move it
If
to,
we don't have a huge agenda.
Right.
I'd
So
really like to give the folks a break.
some of the fees would be applicable on July 1st.
perfect.
Okay.
Some of them are January 1st, like the dog licenses will be in January 1st because we already have people purchasing them and we can't change our.
Sure.
But some of them are applicable on July 1st. So
We really gonna do it.
if we gave it a little bit of lead time, I wouldn't be sad, but I understand your
Let's do it in June.
June, vote in June, city council.
Okay, so that'll go to Ways and Means. Next on the list is the purchase of an oven for the middle school. And says the order will be forthcoming, but it looks like it's in here.
We don't have that order yet,
Okay,
but it is. we just
Gonna
haven't gotten
be-
it.
can we kick it to June then?
I think it's gonna
so
be
it would be a-
ready for the May.
It would be a first reading at May,
Okay,
in the May meeting, and then it would be voted in June.
okay.
It's kind of last, right?
What's that?
Didn't we talk about this last month? So.
The meeting didn't actually,
was
the
mentioned.
capital meeting didn't happen until like a week and a half ago. I unfortunately couldn't make it that night.
It was on the same night as another meeting, I think.
Yeah, but it wasn't for that reason I couldn't make it.
Okay.
But they did have a quorum. They did. Not that they really needed one because it's an advisory committee, but they did, as far as I've heard, pushed it forward.
I agree.
And so this, wherever that comes up, I don't think there's gonna be a whole lot of debate about it. Like, it's pretty cut and dry. You need to cook food for kids, right?
Kind of a school lunch revolving fund according to this letter.
Yes. And it's, yes, and that's, the bigger part of it is it's already funded.
Okay. All right. Next is mayor's appointments and reappointments of local cultural council, Sustainable Greenfield Implementation Committee. ANO. And then I've got some topics for discussion. So first is, we were made aware of some issues with flooding that have been ongoing on Haywood Street. And so the mayor, myself, Amy Cahalan, met with some of the residents. DPW is doing some scoping of it. It goes back, the records are incomplete as far as what I can figure out of whether or not there was a private line or not, and they can't find it in the city records. So I would suggest we put this on community relations, because it might be an opportunity to bring more members from that community to discuss it.
It's a low area.
Oh my gosh, you should see, like, it's not just, it's like,
Oh, no, trust me, I've dealt with a lot of water in basements for a long time.
yeah, it's
It's a
definitely
low
more.
area of town.
But it looks like it's only, like, there's manholes in people's backyards. That's weird, so.
Community relations discussion for May.
They go through.
Yes, thank you.
So I'm gonna have a couple of questions about these. So is the thinking that when you facilitate the meetings, are you going to plan to do the meetings? And I ask this question just more out of curiosity, like, and what you're thinking with it is, are you thinking to have public comment, like at the beginning, like a typical meeting, or is there more of a discussion to be thinking things through
Like a public.
together? Yeah, with the public.
Kind of how we did when we had a discussion about some of the unhoused issues. And then when last year Sheila had brought in folks to talk about some of the issues with Haitian community.
Mhm.
And it ended up just being more of a free flowing discussion.
Okay.
It's a tough issue.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we as this, like, how much the city can do about it, but, you know, as council, we can also make sure that if there are things to be done, that
Yeah.
they're being explored.
Yeah.
You know, I know Marlo is looking is looking into this. He and I have spoken, and he's talked to the residents many, many times over the years. But,
Can't imagine they didn't get flooded the last 2 days, so.
oh, I can't imagine, like,
For emails.
I can hear water pouring in my basement and I'm not in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So,
School city must have been built on a swamp.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, it literally was.
I mean, we're in a valley.
Yeah, right.
I know some of my streets in my precinct definitely were.
There are buried streams, I know for sure,
yeah.
around the city, like they concreted them and put it in the
Some
ground.
of them, we haven't done ourselves favors by diverting water. My parents live in my mom now lives in a place that never had water, and they built it in the 70s. It was off of Swamp Road, which is now Country Club Road. But,
Yeah.
but it was,
Country Club Road.
but it was dry.
I like the
Yeah.
rebrand.
their entire area was dry. Until, sure, Milo won't like to hear this, but until McCart Acres was built. And then they diverted some water out of that place because they couldn't perk.
Yeah.
Where they were, they did a dewatering thing and pushed it out to the McCard Brook. And that swelled all of the underground streams that went right behind one side of Plantation Circle. And now every basement in that side floods. What's the recourse?
Yeah.
Do we tell them to shut off that pump?
This is where we, you know.
Do we tell them to make their basements flood because they're brand new establishments? So the people who would live there for 40 years don't have flooded basements? I don't know.
This is gonna become an issue, you know, this neighborhood obviously is acute, but like flooding in general.
Yes.
So I won't go on.
No, I mean, it is part of it. So next on my list was just I don't know if we want to talk any more about the energy cost, like how much it went on, increased at the fire station, but I just put it on in case that is something we might want to discuss.
I would love an answer to why it was 250% more than they expected. I'm sure Carol is working on this. I don't know what the right form, Chapman.
Could it be a memo?
Sure.
I mean, we
Yeah.
send
A question
somebody,
via email. is
right,
just as
somebody
reasonable as
send the
meeting about it.
question, and we send it off to the. I mean, it's just a thought. I'm not
That's-
trying not
that's-
to
That's
have,
the right way to go about it.
No, I just put it
Yeah.
Definitely.
you know, the joke is this meeting could have been a memo.
Let's make it
Yeah.
a.
So could we make it a memo?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why bring these issues to this august group. As good as-
Scintillating about this.
So we'll
Scintillating.
From another era.
Merrily.
someone send the
Stereo.
questions that we can send to Carol?
Is there someone who would like to do that? Who is?
I can email right now, be like, yo,
Okay.
Yeah, what's up?
Carol.
Or you can send it to
But,
us and we can send it to her. It's completely, or include the office
Okay,
in
I'll do
your,
that.
yeah.
It's not gonna, it's just to be literally an update.
Did we talk about the full transcripts of meetings to the public at our last meeting? I think we did.
Transcript, like
You
a,
mean minutes? Minute transcripts?
isn't always.
What do you mean by transcript?
This is what's written and I don't remember writing this.
I think at a recent committee chairs meeting, there was discussion by request of a citizen to put all communications
Right.
on the website, and I think that's what was discussed.
Okay.
Sorry, Ashley. Communications.
I mean, all of our emails?
There was,
Well, Zoom gives you the ability, like you could export a transcript of the meeting and.
but it doesn't say who said what. It just gives a transcript, which is not always correct, because it gets things
Oh, it gets things very wrong.
You know.
Yeah.
right. But
I mean, wouldn't that be the whole, I mean, I don't know. If this is what they're looking for is who said what, wouldn't it be like, well, then kind of watch the meeting?
so we've had requests for the unedited recordings of the meetings from Zoom. We load them up and send them off.
Okay.
Maybe we've had requests for transcripts. And if we did, we'd load it up and send it off.
Right.
But the transcript,
Technology.
right, it's lacking. It doesn't say who said what. It doesn't quite get it all correct. If someone doesn't have their microphone on, it's like a.
I know, I get
If multiple-
voicemails all the time that like, I'm
Right.
like,
If multiple people are talking at the same time, it merges it all together. So it's not the official record of the meeting is the minutes.
Yeah.
right.
I'm wondering if at some point later, not right now, this could be a topic for community relations, just generally like transparency. And are there some ways that we can better post things?
I guess it's worth the conversation, but I mean, I think, aren't we kind of, we're doing the best
I
that
think we-
technology
yeah.
can offer at this point?
We,
Like,
we post on
Right.
the city
Yeah.
clerk website, we post the agenda, we
Yeah.
post the report, recording, we post the minutes.
yeah,
We're posting it as these things occur. The minutes get posted after the council approves them.
Yeah.
The transcript is kind of just extra, which doesn't do us a lot of good at them
Right.
at this
Well,
moment.
that's what I mean is that would we be changing a policy because I don't want to sound crass, but you know me, like that, this seems like a request out of almost like sheer laziness. Like, I mean, there are times where I get a voicemail and the transcript that it tries to give me is jargon. And it's like, I actually physically have to, oh my God, I have to go and click and listen to the actual voicemail to hear what the person said because it will transcribe something that I'm like, that doesn't even sound like English.
You could be setting a precedent.
Yeah.
That so the council is different than other committees. It's the council, it's the legislative body. So if you decided to post transcripts, you would be setting a precedence that could trickle down to all of the other boards, committees and commissions, then needing to do the same. Well, the council does it, why don't you?
It sounds, I think you said that if someone's requested the transcript, you will give it.
Yeah,
So it sounds like the transcripts are provided upon request.
they are.
They just,
That-
they
They
be 100%.
can be.
No, of course, because I
Right.
mean, there's someone in the waiting room.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that what you're doing is enough.
Yeah.
And also I would say, I feel like, I think you all know how much I care deeply about public participation.
Mhm.
And I have some hesitancy around just bringing up, and I'm not sure if this is what you're proposing,
No.
but like, you're like.
And I'm not proposing
Yeah.
anything, really. I'm just sort of
Thinking it
being the
through.
channel.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate this. You're like, these are all the things I've heard about. Let's talk about them. Or let's like decide where we talk about them. I really appreciate that. I want to name that when you say maybe we'll bring transparency as a topic, I have some hesitancy. Like it seems to motions or a stated, topic of discussion feels really important to me to just bring up a really big topic. Feels like it just is one of those, been to so many activist conversations that just like meander in all different directions and don't go anywhere. And I don't want our meetings those could be very draining for the public, for counselors. And so I feel protective around that. So I would say, if like, we're going to talk about transparency, let's bring what is the aim of the conversation? Is it just to gather insights? That is an aim. Like we could just be gathering comment or is it to gather comments about a specific proposal, but just that we're very precise about what is on the agenda. As a practice, I think.
I think it ties into the last discussion item here about the community relations committee in general, what you're.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
how do we focus?
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
So are we just kind of listing that as no action taken?
Yep.
Okay.
We'll send to community relations update on the proposed transgender ordinance. So it is, and just for this committee, there is a draft. It needs more input. It needs some legal counsel.
But it hasn't even been officially submitted.
No, it hasn't been submitted, so it is just an idea.
My preference is for it to be once it's ready to go forward as a proposal, that it actually come to A&O and not first have just a topic about the proposal
Oh, yeah.
without. So that would be my request, that it not go as a general topic to community relations, but once the proposal is ready, it goes to A&O. Is that okay with you?
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then there's also there's accessibility to language and translation services,
Oh, I'm
which
sorry, I didn't see that.
I've been pinging you and you've been pinging Erin about for a very
And I
long time.
haven't heard anything new.
Okay,
I don't have any update, but I can check tomorrow.
okay. Thank you.
That's all right.
I have a list of things that I'm gonna start regularly pinging about.
Use the word pig.
Ping.
Ping.
What did
Ping. I thought you were saying peeking about. I'm like, this makes, I don't understand the analogy here.
That could be an analogy for
What are you doing? Any pig in it? This is slang that I haven't heard before. Like, no, my ears are bad.
You would know the slang. You work in a.
It's so fast.
Yeah.
It's like every year. I'm like.
Ping is so 5 years.
I have to think, we still call each other plebes, and they're like. Plebe, right, no, that's for a while, they were calling each other, they say you filthy plebe.
Like Shakespearean?
Yeah, like ancient Rome, it's just like, I thought it was awesome, I'm like, oh, they're doing.
It's just the history teacher.
Yeah, no, that was- wow. Except they were insulting each other with it, so it was less good. but-
Okay, maybe I do not understand
More
this.
side of the big stuff here.
Plebeian, it's short
Like
for
they don't-
plebeian, like plebeians, patricians, in the ancient Roman Empire, the non-aristocratic class that did all the work and had to pay all the taxes.
Like serfs.
Okay, all right. Oh,
Before you
sure. Okay, well, I'm not
pledge a-
understanding this. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
This is
I got my
not-
Roman history in, I did it.
And it wasn't on the agenda.
It's not there, okay.
Right,
hang on.
stuck it in there.
So.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
You good with that?
Yeah.
Not anticipated.
That's right, who could have guessed?
Cell tower, we just threw on the agenda in case anybody feels like this discussion needs to go anywhere within the city council. I know it's getting a little heated with
Yeah.
zoning board of appeals, so.
So I got a phone call from somebody who wanted us to talk about whether we should talk about it, and I said, we will. I personally
Talk
don't.
about whether we talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. I made no promises beyond that. To me, it's a pretty clear jurisdictional issue where the zoning board of appeals
Yeah,
controls this.
yeah.
And I looked into it a little bit more, and it became more clear to me after that conversation with this gentleman that the zoning board of appeals has the right to make decisions on this. We do not. And I don't want to step on their jurisdictional toes personally.
Either.
I agree with that.
So I promised somebody I would say this, and so I did.
Okay.
Promises kept
No action taken?
at this time.
Precinct meetings, so Catherine and I will have a discussion about possibly changing the ordinance, because right now, if I know community relations has in the past had precinct meetings, and the clerk has informed us that we would have to mail every single person from the mayor, and it's
That's
a
what it
really.
says in the ordinance.
Yeah, of course, and we want to follow the ordinance. But it feels like it's a very steep bar to get over. And so we might want to discuss on, would that keep us from doing something that we think is a good idea? And do we need that sort of public outreach? Yeah. Make it
Yeah.
happen, so that will eventually go to A&R.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that out loud so that it is not on community relations. Precinct 6, counselor vacancy. My understanding is we've only received one interest.
Mhm.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
And that person has also taken out papers.
For
Precinct
year.
six.
our next session.
Good first move on their part.
Just asking you all, when we've had vacancies, did, I think Counselor Bottomley, like, at least when I was appointed, kind of waited a month or two to try and see if there were anyone additional before, so.
I mean, I would
Do you
say the
guys have-
same. I think, like, I'm very glad to see somebody like gung ho and get right in there.
Yeah.
But I think it is appropriate that we give time for the word to spread. What's another month? Right? I mean,
So the cutoff date to apply is May 23rd.
Okay, oh, so we.
They-
well, that's for the next session.
What?
No, that's in the press release.
That's in the press release for the vacancy.
No, for the cutoff for.
Applicants to
Yeah,
apply
this makes sense.
is
for the
May,
Vacancy.
yes,
Not the
is
full-
May 23rd.
But if nobody applied by May 23rd,
We have one already.
I know, but what if we did?
We have to.
Then you extend it.
Right. Oh, okay. That's what I was.
Can we just leave it open and
It's
somebody
been-
runs and then?
So the press release has been sent to the press.
Yeah.
It's through the mayor's office out on Greenfield social media.
Mhm.
Some of us might have social media that we can say, okay, join our party.
I do not.
I do not either.
Facebook.
I don't do any of that.
You have social media.
But. Yeah, this timeline parallels what I've experienced before.
Yeah.
So that they have until the 23rd and then what we've done before is that people are welcome to come speak to committee chairs and then we give our suggestion to you and then you make a decision
So
and put
we
it to
vote
the,
in June?
we end up,
Council will vote
vote in
to
June.
appoint in June.
yeah.
So they would be appointed for July, in that case.
No, they would be.
Yeah, immediately.
There's.
Immediate, oh, that's
Yeah.
right, that's how about Sarah,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And you, and you.
Yeah, a number of us have had this.
That's
So
so
we need
great.
smaller
It's-
farms and smaller.
One other thought is why don't we should add just a statement during the committee council meeting this month, being like, hey, members of the public who showed up.
Yes.
If you happen to live in precinct 6, come on in.
But they have to apply by May 23rd?
Oh.
Yes.
So like
For the
3
council,
days after the council.
Yeah.
you have your phone
For
with
a
you.
vacancy,
Open it
there's
up
a
right now.
deadline?
The deadline's coming.
Yeah.
Why is there a
it's-
deadline if it's an open vacancy? That
It's
just
just to
seems
create a
weird.
sense of urgency, you know?
So,
I get it one way. No, I'm just asking this as a logistical question, like, if there's an opening and nobody applies, why would there be a
What
deadline
is the 5 days?
for I'm just curious.
I'm getting questions.
Sorry.
Hold on. So the deadline is so that,
From the date of the vacancy?
Letter.
Sorry, good.
so the deadline was chosen so that we had enough to include whatever applications or invite people to attend the meeting for the June committee chairs so that they know that they have to attend to get a person in the seat at the June council. So it doesn't just go on and on and on without having a representative of that precinct.
And so I think that when you make the announcement, I think it's okay if you add in that announcement. If you're just finding out about this and you're interested, the deadline is the 23rd. You don't need to write a fancy letter. You can write the fancy letter, send us your resume afterward. Just hold your place, send us an email. Even if you're not sure, you don't have to take the seat. But if you're interested, please email us by end of day Friday.
So do you want that under new business, old business on the council agenda?
New business.
Okay,
It's towards the end of the meeting, right?
it is.
Yeah.
Could we
That's
move
a
it?
good point. We move it?
Where would you like
Send
it?
the rules of procedure and
Mm,
new business to, right, couldn't we?
You could,
I just
Why don't we
think
do it before public
Or-
comment, or just before public
Or-
comment and like after them?
that, because people leave off.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's like,
so a thought,
yes.
under invited guests,
Like my suggestion.
it,
What are we
Right.
without?
anyways. If under invited guests, you put me
Yeah.
Perfect.
and
Ah,
I said there's a council vacancy, that's new business, not new business.
Well, she could have gotten out of that meeting, but now she's volunteered to be there, so.
Department, city business.
Perfect.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of
Yes.
sense.
okay,
And
Me.
you're in charge of
me,
appointments and stuff. so-
invited guest.
So if you didn't make any plans for May 21st or whatever date it is.
Hey, we got a double going on here. Announce vacancy.
Both carers.
Can't wait till we reconvene on the 22nd.
Or not.
Sorry.
No,
Okay,
oh, no.
We have a special meeting.
Yes, this is
Thursday.
true.
okay,
I should put the 26th.
so, yeah, this is me. We can do it there.
We better fucking finish on the 21st, that's all I'm saying. Sorry for the F-bomb,
CPA.
but it's true.
Sorry,
We have
public.
The last two.
Does that get deleted out?
No,
It's fine.
We're allowed to have salty language. I did
I
that.
can't lie. Oh.
Scintillating?
Scintillating language, scandalous.
Just a little.
Gallows.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
Anthony can't print it. I've been told, but, yeah, right.
Happy
But
to.
if I said F-bomb, he could write that. Right?
That's all right.
Dash bomb? All right, F-bomb.
So,
CPA orders.
we have the CPA orders and I imagine they go to Ways and Means.
Yeah.
I love CPA, just like the kind of
Yes.
projects it's able to fund, make me happy to see.
Yes.
Can I mention one thing about the CPA? To this person?
Not sure.
No, well, thank you. Thank you for your vote of confidence here. The only thing I wanted to say, because I didn't respond to this person's email, I don't know if anybody else did. There was a person who was concerned about the $23 million project that's happening over on Wells Street and was talking about how, why did we vote on this? And why did we put this money? We have so many other things that we could put. We didn't vote on that. We don't get to vote on that. That's a private development.
Oh, I did respond to
Right?
it.
Oh, you did? Did you tell them it's a private development? Like, but the only thing we did vote on was like a small, tiny CPA allotment that really means absolutely nothing to that project when it really comes down to it. I mean, we're talking $23 million. We put what?
300,000 or something,
Yeah.
600,000.
Not even a lot. Like, not even a lot when it really comes down to it, but like, we don't own, for anyone out there who may be listening, we don't own Main Street. The city does not own Main Street properties.
I do.
Oh, well, then shit, then why are you developing? Why are you developing it? Like, we don't, the city does not own it. The city council does not decide what businesses go in and out of it. It's private industry and I,
The CPA has its own separate committee.
So the CPA orders are going on Ways and Means.
Thank you. They are.
sorry.
Hero Act, did we get the details from?
We don't
the-
have anything yet. I
Okay.
will send an email and ask for it.
Okay,
That has to do with property taxes, right? Is that,
Yes.
okay, so
so
that
probably goes to Ways and Means if we get it.
So Ways and Means when received?
Yep.
Jim.
Unless is that an ordinance? Is that a?
No, it's, if I understand it correctly, so the HERO Act has already been accepted. Now a percentage needs to be applied. And that's the financial part for Ways and Means, from assessor for the mayor, blah, blah, blah.
Right. The discussion about future topics for the Community Relations Committee is going to go on the agenda for the Community Relations Committee.
Oh,
That's good.
I said it out loud. so that-
I'm grateful that
So the,
let you discuss that.
Yeah.
thanks for letting us do that.
Yeah.
No, perfect, yeah.
Because if I bring it up and forgot to put on the agenda, then it's open meeting law.
Right.
Finally,
Oh, geez.
Crossing our i's and dotting our t's, am I right?
I'm doing a lot of that.
You say dotting our T's.
Good.
Not in your teeth, right? That's what we all do.
Alrighty, so the next bunch of things are appropriating money for the community preservation.
Right.
Committee.
CPA orders.
Yeah.
Yes. So is it okay if I just say we already talked about all of those? They will go on Ways and Means, or do I need to say them
I
each?
think that is fine.
And they go in June.
Their deadline.
I think that is okay. I don't remember the exact CPA timeline. But we can check on that.
I'm trying, guys, just so you know,
I would like that.
we don't have to, but I would.
That makes sense. We got plenty on our plate as far as
To
budget.
June.
Okay.
There are gonna be several things from, there may, like, well, there doesn't have to be, they're not urgent.
Okay.
But I would like to clean up the ANO agenda to, in June, so just taking that into account, June something might be quite.
All right, since Derek isn't here for EDC, but the things on their agenda will be the parking benefit district, which is a continued discussion item,
And the preservation restriction
Right.
agreement.
and the ag. Right. Okay. A and O, so you've got the appointments that we just talked about, the opioid use prevention commission ordinance and solid waste ordinance.
Yeah, so I didn't read I was in meetings all day, so
Okay.
I'm not sure if you responded to me.
So it is on the A and O agenda to have a public hearing for both the
Okay.
opioid and the solid waste.
Okay, that was what I had emailed about. just
So
making sure.
we're,
Oh, it's right there. I'm sorry.
that's all right.
It's.
I wasn't, so I read your email and I responded and I said, am I missing something?
No.
Because I wasn't sure either, so.
Yesterday,
Yeah.
my apologies. Okay, so there's a public hearing for both of them. Okay, and then there's this long list of things, many of which, if I have a quorum, first of all, and if people read through these like basic things, which could be tough on the budget week, but I think that, or budget month, I think that a lot of the things that are coming forward for discussion, quite simple and could just be put forward as a motion just from, they're listed under discussion, so we don't have to, we don't anticipate that we will be voting on them, but we could vote on them if we decide that they're that simple.
Would you like to? This is just a thought.
Mhm.
In May, focus on the sewer solid waste ordinance and the opioid ordinance and just have these discussion items put on to June committee? Sorry? Or do you want them there in the event that you want to
that's
have
a really
discussion
good
on
point,
them?
because I don't want, that's a really good question, because I don't want them to be on May's agenda just for the whole council. We don't have time for them. I want them to be on the June agenda. So if and I think they're all relatively simple. There may be something that I'm not seeing, but I think they're relatively simple, so they could be just, yeah.
Just
They can-
discussion move to June.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, that way. That works.
Okay.
I have a quick question about quorum thing that Catherine mentioned. We obviously, Counselor Gilmore has resigned, so we're
Yeah.
down a seat. It still is a 3-person quorum.
It is.
Would it make sense to shuffle somebody else into that position, as an additional member in the meantime? Or is that
Can one of you,
well, I'm already on it. So it's like,
can you be it instead?
That could be an alternative.
Is that how it normally works?
right, how does this work logistically? Like if we wanted. Kathy,
So the A and O is making a recommendation to the council.
right,
It's a recommendation.
Yeah,
The council as a whole is the one that votes it.
right.
So even if you only have 3 A and O members there, 3 or 4, it's still, and I'm not, it's gonna come out wrong, just a
No,
recommendation.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to
So-
force law.
Even if you only had two.
I don't think that.
Well, you wouldn't have a quorum then, so you couldn't
That's-
have a meeting.
That's
Right, you could have a meeting, but then would they just
Yeah, if-
move the topic straight over without a recommendation?
It could, but
We're not gonna do that.
usually the weeds are worked out
Yeah.
in committee.
Right.
So that when it comes to the council, it's like
It's the hope.
We're good.
one way or the other.
Right.
We're good.
But
at
just, I'm just saying, like, so if something were on A and O's agenda for June,
Hmm.
they didn't get a quorum, so they never gave a recommendation, put it by default, would it still end up on, if it were planned, would it still by default go on the full council's
No,
agenda? It
no,
wouldn't.
not necessarily, no.
Well, not necessarily, but,
If it were,
No.
if it were urgent,
right.
Yeah,
The reason I say this is because I'm on Ways and Means, which is always the day before. Pretty much, unless the first is on a Wednesday. It's always the day before full committee. So if we don't know we didn't have a quorum the night before,
mhm,
we wouldn't have the recommendation, but the city council agenda would have already been published at that point.
Mm.
Everything that's on Ways and Means would already be on
Mhm.
full city council.
yeah,
No, you could table it. I'm saying, but you don't have to.
you could.
You could just say,
or-
we didn't have a meeting, like if the meeting got canceled because there was a thunderstorm and we lost power and.
Or by unanimous consent of the council, these items will be placed on a
okay.
A
future.
future agenda,
Right.
but you could deal with them
You
that.
could, if,
night.
again, if there was urgency,
Sure.
then the full council could have the,
I'm just meaning there's nothing that
Yeah.
prohibits it from happening.
right.
Yeah, except, yes, and these all
I
deserve,
think we should do it.
yeah.
Right.
These are urgent and they all deserve forethought, that's a good question, just to know what would happen, and that's good to know that it could be voted back by unanimous. So we don't, if three of us are there, I don't want you, Laura, to have to take a night for this, like, unless you really wanted to, you always can, but.
really don't, but
Necessary.
I love spending time with y'all, but
No, I anticipate that John will be back, for Counselor Bottomley will be participating in meetings again. I don't know, but I hope
So
it's the end of the school year. He's out of end of the budget season. I think he'll be back. We're gonna have somebody new appointed. These are not, I do not anticipate these being controversial. I think you don't need to be controversial.
And I believe it's
Three of us are here.
your intention, and please correct me if I'm wrong, to vote the opioid and the solid waste
Yes.
in May to have at least the solid waste
Yes.
approved by the council in May.
Yes. Yes.
I got you, Marlo.
Yes. Yeah.
He ain't even looking at you.
We're not done.
See, he's
Yes.
clapping and giving me thumbs up.
there's
Yep.
all sorts of grant related stuff that we need.
Yeah.
for.
We need these done. Yeah.
Marlo's bringing the donuts.
Oh.
And the carts.
As long as it's not over $50, we're good.
Right, that's what I was thinking. That's why I'm keeping it-
Donuts.
Okay.
All right.
that's why it's not like Casada Grill or.
I do know some.
I do have-
Not anticipated, not anticipated.
Not anticipated.
And community relations.
All right, flooding and future topics, but it's two things.
The daily.
Homeowners insurance.
And then we have the unhoused committee, and I don't think I'm gonna have anything to say except that they are meeting.
The agenda went out today.
I saw it. Holy cow, Sarah works hard. Like, just like, I am blown away by how.
You haven't seen like half of the documents.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't.
No.
Sarah's the hardest worker I know. Like,
Yeah, no, it's incredible. I am
Yeah.
so grateful for the labor she's doing, and I would even tell her that.
it's on public record. Like, wow.
And you will be receiving another appointment of somebody to the committee tomorrow.
Great.
Okay. I had that as a question for you.
Yep.
But I was,
I've talked to the
Biding
person
my
and I
time.
just have to send you the official email.
Tammy writes me notes
And
and I make
that-
sure I ask them.
And I probably need to mention it at the city council meeting. I
Yeah.
don't. Doesn't have to be at the special meeting, probably the May meeting.
Yeah, my brain.
The other May meeting.
Or maybe.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay,
forget
but this
to-
is 10 AM, not evening. Okay.
Oh, wow, that's a crazy time of day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 10 AM here.
Everybody on that committee can meet at 10 AM.
I think most of them probably do this for their paid work. Sarah.
Meeting?
No?
10 AM?
Okay, I'm making
No,
this.
no, it's people with lived
It is.
experience.
Okay.
Lots of people meet during the day.
Yeah.
Blows my mind. Every time I have a day off during the
Boards and
summer,
directors
just
that I
makes-
What meeting are we talking?
this is the
The
unhoused.
unhoused
Oh.
ad hoc committee.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, ways and means. We've got,
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. Not a damn thing
Not
for
a
me.
whole thing. Hey,
we added CPA.
He was referring to the Wiley Russell Day.
Yeah,
Yes.
Good to know. You can just like interpret.
Reappropriation.
That's why he,
Can be subtitles.
yeah, he filters me.
Okay. all right. Good to know.
Okay, so I have a whole bunch of things that are ways and means. Oven,
Yeah, that's fine.
June,
Yeah, okay.
oven is June, so it's not May.
fee schedule, June. Get away with it.
What did you say? Fee schedule?
Clerk's fee for
Fee schedule, yeah.
A little too much Red Bull, you're getting a little
Oh, it said fee schedule.
zippy.
fee schedule.
Fee schedule, that's what I said.
Yeah,
What's that?
Sounded like you said feet schedule.
You said feet.
No, I said fee.
Oh, I heard you say.
Schedule.
Hey,
But
stop
apparently that's the
thinking
way to
around.
raise money.
Stop in the bed.
I heard feet.
Will you be continuing operation budget deliberations? Did you conclude?
I haven't gotten anything as of now, and I said unless we got something by the 12th, I was canceling the meeting on the 20th. Unless we absolutely had things that had to be on the 20th. This month.
There is not anything that absolutely
The authorization for
Oh.
payment can go straight to council.
Yeah.
For the late, if you want to.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's gonna be a lot of deliberation about that, so,
$1,700.
yeah,
Utility bill?
people,
Money that could go to somewhere else.
they want those
Be a quarter
utilities
inch
paid.
sidewalk.
Okay. But this is
City
from
council's legal
last,
advice.
yeah, okay.
Okay. Got fee schedule, put the
Clerk update.
Oh, yeah. Page 76, the ongoing,
saga.
Typo Odyssey from the state legislature, but they
Yes.
misspelled our stuff.
yes. So this, I am bringing it to you all because in they do a little wordsmithing, which doesn't change the intent, but it changes the language. And I just wanted to bring it to you before I said to them, yes, this is good, we can go on. So we're talking chapter 611, this is the Public Safety Commission section. Section E, the language we sent was, the commission shall review written complaints made by the public concerning the operation of the public safety departments. Okay? They're suggesting changing it to, the commission shall review written complaints made by the public concerning the operation and conduct of employees of both public safety departments.
Seems unnecessary, but fine.
But do you want it to say the conduct of employees? The commission shall review written complaints made by the public concerning operation and conduct of
I
employees?
think it was implied, but yeah,
Yeah, it's implied and
sure.
if they say it should be explicit, let's make it explicit.
Okay, to language, okay. And they occasionally do small amounts of wordsmithing,
No, I'm glad they got rid of some of the.
Pronouns.
and they're also saying, right,
That's
they're changing the designation of his to the chief's.
Perfect.
Okay.
Great.
That's all I was hoping for. And then we can
Well,
put
that's good, 'cause
that.
now we can hire a female, or gender non-conforming.
So now the question is,
If we put it in our charter.
do you want that on May or June?
I think this is pretty quick, right? Like, let's get it done so
Yeah,
that
it's good.
they can do
Yeah.
this for another year before they
Yes.
send it back to us.
Sure.
Yes.
I don't think
Yeah,
that's.
they're gonna take a long time anyway.
We'll be relieved to all be like,
I'll be here when they approve it, so.
All right.
so,
And then you
It'll
have,
take them more than 8 months.
Alice.
and then you have in front of you the special city council agenda items. So I think we're all on the same page with that. And then the regular items, which we've talked about. So
Gonna be quite the meeting.
we've got some appointments, we've got some budget things.
Nothing to do on Thursday, so I guess.
I don't know anymore.
Might as well. Give your hand.
Where would you like the charter vote to go? Do you want it before the operating budget? After the operating budget?
Before,
Before.
I would say,
Yeah,
Okay.
Down with it.
because everyone's gonna be numb by the end.
and it'll help us to like
A
ease
moment.
into the ability to
Grease the wheels.
just pass things.
Okay.
Decisions.
Um,
Get a small win together. All good. All right, anything else that needs to be discussed by this committee? Okay, pickup trucks, stop signs, no?
Not on the agenda.
I know. All right, so it is 7:03 and I would like to have a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Second.
Oh, hi.
Everyone in favor?
I just wanted to introduce myself.
Hi,
Are we done with the meeting?
I think, thank you
I'm
for,
sorry.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I think that Bella is one of the people who
Yes.
were looking to appoint. If you want to come to A and O, you could do that. That would work. Because that's where we'll
Oh,
make sense. Yeah.
okay.
just
Cool,
what
thanks.
goes on the agenda,
Yeah.
so, but thank you for coming. We
Yeah, thank
appreciate it.
you.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
interest in serving
Yeah.
the city.
You got it.
Very much.
All right,
Have a good day.
yeah,
You too.
bye.
7:04.
All right, so, all in favor of adjourning?
Hi.
Okay, this meeting is adjourned at